Eminence Front X5 and Larry Word here, coming to you from, well, I really don't know where I'm at. I didn't drive here, I didn't walk here. Actually, Sarah, in her whip, brought me out here. We're in the middle of nowhere, a place that her and I kind of discovered when we were, or thought we discovered, when we were out at the target shooting range we did a couple weeks back. We planned an expedition out here to try and figure out what we were seeing. We didn't find that, but we did find something else. Check this out, guys. So I'm walking through some open desert here on the hillside here, making my way down from a good vantage point to try and figure out if there's any more to this site than meets the eye. Apparently not. It's all in this one general area. What we discovered is what I think is a small mining operation that had good backing, it looks like. And we're walking up to what I think was part of their water supply. This device here. It's fairly deep. I would guess about 12 feet deep, maybe more. But the reason why I think this was their water supply is there's a big pipe coming out of the ground, pointing up in the air right here. I believe that connected to another pipe down, further down, and I'll point that out when we get there. But I think this is where they were storing their water, or getting it from somewhere. But as it goes down this direction towards Sarah's car there's a lot of foundations down there, and I'll point those out as well. But I think this was the source of the water. So here's the other end of what is up there. The water tank that we were just at is sitting right up there. But what I just noticed is this little wooden trough coming down. That's separate from this pipe here. I'm not sure if this pipe was underground with that or not, or was that separate. But it looks like they may have had running water coming down here in this trough, possibly, or this pipe lived in that trough going up to that water tank. It's hard to tell without having someone here, but who knows. Interesting discovery though, but this does look like the pipe that would fill this area here. Here's one of the foundations. Not fill, but provide water to the foundations out here. One building that's still standing is right over here, and we'll go check that out here in a minute. But I want to just show you guys what's left of some of these buildings, or really what's not left. The only thing that's really left is the foundations. These guys were here a long time, and if you've watched any of my videos, you'll know that when you start running across large can sites like this, they were here for a while, several months to a year or several years. And a little foundation here, I'm guessing, I don't know. Let's count it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 by 9, so it's about a 9 by 18 foot. Nine by 18 foot is about right. They had a fireplace there, so this is probably the front. Possibly the front door is here. It's hard to tell by what you see on the ground, but definitely looks like they had water here. There's some water stains on the ground. I don't see any plumbing though, so little fire pit, probably to keep warm. Or maybe it was a garage. Look at that. See that lip? Right there, that concrete lip? Probably to get something in there. Car would fit in it. Hard to tell. In the structure itself, all the siding is down here. Just crushed up. little window area. If you look closely though, you'll see that there's some screen material here. So this was screened in at one point. So it was open. There wasn't a window. Which probably is telling me it was a storage spot, this one little slab that we're on. There's a larger foundation right here. We'll go see that in a second. Let's go check this one out real quick. This is about the same size as the previous one. I don't see any lip on this though, like you could get, oh, look at that. That could have been the front door. Walk in this way, and this is your living space. About the same size as the other one, 9 by 18. I don't see any foundation, or not foundation, any holes in the foundation for piping for water. So, almost like dry camping out here. Here's one of these lips again, which I'm guessing was up against here for some reason. Old pottery on the ground and glass. Let's go check out this one real quick. Looks like it's still standing. Now what's interesting about this is the wood framing you see on the top. Across the top, around the bottom. I'm thinking maybe there was a tarp around this. They have an inner structure, and then they would have a tarp or a tent around this to help keep the cold air out. But I don't know. I have no idea. Why would you need all that wood bracing up there? Just tripped over the bed spring down there. There's a little bed spring sitting down here. Very cool in here. Looks like they have an entrance on the other side. Yeah, so this was like a front porch. You can see the concrete down here. This could have been a fenced-in porch or a screened-in porch. Then you have the inside here. You would access through there. Let's try and squeeze on through here. Can't get through that way. Tell you what, I'm gonna navigate my way through there and turn the camera on when I'm on the other side. Okay, I just made it through this little gap here, and I'm inside this little structure. These bullet holes in here, as you can see, there are many of, but they create this really interesting star-like wall, and I have to admit, I like it. Too bad the cold air would get through that. Anyway, we're inside this little structure, and it's not built terribly well, but I think what's kept this up is the hillside that this is next to, which would block some of the wind coming up and over, but all the other buildings are gone. This is the only one that's kind of left, so kind of neat. Not sure what that could have been for. Cabinet. I'm not going to go rummaging through that. Fear of hantavirus. Some new trash on the ground there. What's captured my eye is this piece of glass right here. It's a strange piece of glass. Probably bottom of a wine bottle. So I think there were a number of miners working this site. Here's another one of the foundations. And again, they have these lips, like there was a driveway here. Then you have this little slab out here. It's common to all the foundations, but what would it be for? I just don't get it. Here's the next remains of a building. Very much the same as the last one we were just in, but this is just beat up. This does not have a porch on it. Now, what were they mining, though? You got this small encampment. Got all the remains of the buildings all strewn about out here. And what were they doing out here? What were they mining if they were miners? Well, the answer is right here. Let's go check it out. So here's where all those foundations were in the water tanks, just up the ways over there. Right up in here. But the mine they were working is right there. And I think this was the hoist house. And I also think they were processing a lot of their materials here too. If you see this structure back here, this concrete structure, I think that's where they were actually processing their ore. I believe there was a mill here. I believe there's a small mill right here, and they would dump their ore into here and actually go through the process of classifying that material. It's a speculation on my part, but for just a regular mine camp to have all this down here is amazing. A lot of money went into putting this in. Again, we're in the middle of nowhere, folks. Yeah, I can't explain how desolate this place is, but as you can see, there's no roads out here. I'm in the middle of nowhere, and here's the tailing pile I'm on top of. You can see it's pretty extensive, but yeah, there's a ladder going down into this mine right now. It's locked up, but I could probably get past that. Not that I'm going to, but this is the mine. They took a lot of ore out of this thing, so it must be pretty extensive down there. Anyway, let's go poke around down here and see what they have. And that's looking down the mine shaft. Looks like you can open it, just crank it open right there. It's on hinges. Right here and here. It's not locked. You just lift it up and open it up and go on down. So there's the mine shaft again, and we're going to turn around and go over to where I think the hoist house was. So the wall would have started right there and gone straight down here and over. I mean, this was some kind of facility. I don't know what kind of foundation that is there, but what do they need here? Something huge was sitting here. Appears to be some door. Very low ceilings. To the top of this is pretty low. Oh, look at that. Wow. What could have that been for? Who knows? Old heel. So this area here looks like where the mill was. There's foundations out here with rod in it, and that was holding down some heavy equipment, is what I'm assuming. Like these over here. Like, what are these all about? Maybe a generator was sitting here. Furnace. Why was it dug out down here? What's going on here, you know? Obviously a larger piece was sitting here. Probably over that, who knows? You can see there's a little ramp right here. Might be hard to see that, but there is a little ramp. A metal ramp coming down this little chute that went into this thing. I guess a holding tank. You can see it's been cut. Like a plasma cutter of some sort right here. And it's been cut around the outer edge as well. So someone was taking some material out of here for some reason. Probably scavenging metal. But it's hard to put this together, but it looks like this was part of the stamping mill process. Or rotary. I don't know. A ball mill? Who can say? It's not very large. This is like a mini processing plant for the material they're pulling out of the ground here. Here's some of those rods I was talking about that's sticking out of the foundations. I'm pretty sold that this is a mini mill, in other words. So from here, we step down like a normal terrace. Here's some stairs, actually. And I'm guessing this is where they were classifying a little bit more material. There's a heat sink. And once they got through classifying it, they would probably come over here to what I would think are tanks. You can see a trough right here where fluids would be running. But I think that's what was going on here. I think it was a mini mill. You can see a little pipe down here. I'll go show you guys that in a second. But I think these were holding tanks as well. And once it got through here, come out this pipe down below me here and into this next area, fill that up, and whatever settles there, they would drain out that side there, or they would filter somehow into these other two baths. This one here, or the next one up there, and have it flow out the same way. You can say a little exit point there and exit point there for each one of these. So I'm guessing that's what they were doing out here. They were processing the ore right here on site. Makes sense. Why travel around with something you don't need, right? Just take what you need out of here. So we were just standing right up there. I just came down here to this this trough here, but you can see the piping that's in it. It looks like it's meant for mining. It really does. Brilliant setup. A lot of money was dumped into this. Not very deep at all. 2 to 3 feet max. Thanks for coming along, folks. It's been an interesting little explore. Wasn't expecting to find a mill site out here, if that's indeed what we just looked at, which it looks like it was, as well as a mine site, all in one shot. And it's not often you see that in my travels, where they had all in one spot. It would have cost a lot of money to do what they did here. So yeah, I really enjoyed this this explorer. You're gonna have to use your imagination quite a bit on this one, but I think there's enough clues to figure out how this machine worked out here, how this company, whoever it was out here mining, did what they did. As far as the time frame goes, I'm gonna guess this is right around the same time they were using stamp mills, but it's really hard to see. Stamp mill would have taken a lot more space. A rotary type or a tumbling type of mill would have been better, I think. Who knows? If you guys know anything about this site, let me know what it was. I can't even tell you where I'm at. Wish I could. We're in close to the Mojave Desert, so I'm assuming they were probably scouting around for some gold, and they probably found some with how much money they dumped out here. So, interesting find. Thanks a lot for coming along, folks. I will talk to you on the next Explore.